Hey guys, you're back with Juz the Evo X. I've got a very short and quick tip for you today. When you're looking to replace the wheel bearing or hub assembly for your car, and you go to remove the 19s for your Brembos, and then you go to remove your rotor and it won't budge. If you've got a older Evo like what I have, and you come across that there is a number of surface rust marks between the rotor and the actual hub assembly, what you actually find is that actually creates a joint that you just cannot get rid of. So you'll use one of these mallets to bang it, you'll use some penetrating inox or maybe even WD-40, but inox preferably, and you just can't get it undone. And you go ahead like last time and you prepare your bearing assembly remover, and you think, wow, I might just be able to put this onto the end of the drive shaft spindle, and then you might be able to get this over the actual rotor, and it's just not long enough. So you've only then got an option of using a blowtorch, I assume, to heat up this area at the risk of stuffing the rotor. Probably if you've put a little bit of heat, not too much heat for a short amount of time, it'll be okay. But after you've just sprayed a whole bunch of inox in the area, it's probably not the safest or best thing to do. So I was having a look at this assembly and I thought, all I really need to do is make the arms longer. Now obviously I can't make the arms longer, and on here, as you can see, it's on the longest setting. So it was on here previously when I did the other wheel bearing about a year or so ago, but even after putting it to here so that the arm is elongated, it's not long enough to reach the end of the rotor. So on this assembly here, there are these little arm parts for better sake of work. So all I've done is just gone to Bunnings and just purchased, I think it was 3 or 4 of these. I'll simply come home, use the grinder, cut it in half. Then all of a sudden, I have the ability to elongate that arm. So it's roughly at 3 holes there, standard. So this tool I've just picked up from eBay. It was about $20 delivered. It's a lot more expensive if you buy it at Super Cheap Auto. So all you need to do is just now get that bolt through this hole. You might need to drill that hole out, so that's no problem. But with that longer reach there, you will then, as you can see, it only needs to have 1 hole and then 1 hole on the other side. You should then be able to reach the end of the rotor. Alright, so I've just drilled out the holes for the extension brackets so that the arms now, as you can see, can fit. So it's no different to extracting the hub assembly using this, let's just call it a claw tool. Now it grips behind the rotor, thank God. And so I'll just essentially get a bar and socket, and I'll just slowly start removing this rotor. I'll need 2 hands to do it, but I'll update showing what the rust looks like from behind and why it was that the rotor was so hard to take off. So as you can see, I've just put a 17mm on this ratchet. Now it's hard to actually see it coming out, but unless you look closely at the threads, but it's so easy now. The rotor is coming off by force. It's probably enough now that I could just do it by hand. So as you can see, I'm now just undoing the rotor, just using this socket. This was fully rusted on, and it's able to come off now with no concerns. Alright guys, so the bearing puller, plus the use of the mallet, whacking it from behind, has enabled me to take the rotor off. As you can see, these tiny little holes, if I can just get that straight, just there and there, is what I was shooting the inox through, and that's how much I was able to get onto the face of the hub assembly. There were parts here that I simply could not get the back of the rotor off, as you can see those dry surface rust marks there. So what was happening is, because it couldn't penetrate into this area, it wouldn't have really mattered how much oil I was throwing in there. That part was not separating, so you needed to have this. So now that it's off, that's what the new one's supposed to look like. Majorly different. And away we go.